Exciting. Welcome once again to Sports Center along with Tom Mees. I'm Jack Edwards. In Ann Arbor this afternoon, Florida State trying to push Michigan around the field in a game which lived up to at least half of its billing.
Yes, we'll explain. It was #1 against #3, wasn't it, Jag? And if you thought there was no way you could get tired sitting in an easy chair watching a college football game, may I offer an Exhibit A today to the contrary. Today's college game of the year between #1 Florida State and #3 Michigan. I don't want to say that there were a lot of points scored in this tilt, but after the game, the University of Michigan was seen outfitting the stadium scoreboard with new fuses. Let's go to Ann Arbor and the natural grass surface. Over 106,000 real close friends showed up for this one. Elvis Gerbach showed up, but so did Terrell Buckley. Intercepting on the first series of the game. He is gone. 7-0 Florida State, and Gary Moeller knows his team is in for a long afternoon. But Michigan did answer back to their credit. Gerbach to Desmond Howard. Doesn't hurt his Heisman chances with grabs like that, does he? 7-7. Later in the first quarter, though, an electrifying running back by the name of Amp Lee goes 44 yards unmolested through the entire Michigan defense. I mean, this is a joke. You talk about making people miss. He doesn't get hit till he crosses the goal line. 19-10 FSU. Michigan answers back, though. Gerbach to guess who? What? Me worry? Desmond Howard. What a grab. One-on-one against Buckley, and this time 21 wins the battle. Incredible. Now, fourth quarter, 4th and 1. Florida State quarterback, I know Desmond, it was incredible. Florida State quarterback Casey Weldon to Lonnie Johnson on 4th down. You got to love this kind of football. Now with a score 44-31, Elvis Gerbach quits celebrating. That's a penalty. Come on, let's move on. Yeah, there we go. 44-31, Gerbach back to pass. Got time, and all of a sudden, time runs out. He is knocked loose of the football. This is Todrick McIntosh. Give the man some oxygen. I think he's going to pass out, but he does get there. 49 yards. State wins it. Big in Ann Arbor. Bobby Bowden wins it 51-31. Excedrin headache, #1 for Michigan State. Florida State a winner. Michigan, rather for Michigan, I should say, not Michigan State. We'll get to them later. Michigan had 23 first downs. FSU only had 12. But Michigan's Elvis Gerbach was intercepted 4 times. Florida State outgained Michigan 159-120 on the ground. Amp Lee had 122 yards rushing. After the game, we spoke to a happy Casey Weldon.
Yeah, we're taking this back to Tallahassee. Chris Fowler, they said it was going to be on our jerseys. It's on our jerseys, and it's in the grave. Come by, get a little picture of the new addition to the cemetery. Who was it? Michigan. Michigan.
Well, you're pretty cocky, aren't you?
Casey, what did you think? Oh, yeah, game's over.
He has every right to be cocky. You go into Michigan Stadium and put up 51 points on the board, you're darn right you're cocky because you're the best in the country right now. By the way, the most points ever scored at Michigan Stadium by an opponent today, 51.
On Pontiacs and all that happened today up in Michigan.
Yeah, and I hear there were thousands of confirmed Elvis signs.
Yeah, most of them by Florida State defenders. They were only playing in the biggest game ever for Florida State, and that game is now in the history books, and those books will show that the Seminoles rose to the occasion and played one of the best games in their history, especially when you consider the level of competition and the locale. You think Bobby Bowden was ready to even his personal record against Michigan, and the Seminoles were ready to quiet the crowd of well over 100,000. They did it defensively at first with a lightning bolt on the second play from scrimmage. Terrell Buckley with his personal matchup against Desmond Howard wins the first round with the read, the interception, and the 40-yard return for the touchdown. But Howard would win the next 2 rounds against Terrell Buckley. He beats him badly here to knot the score at 7 apiece. But Buckley would have the last laugh, as you'll see. Bowden had plenty of chances to save up and make new plays. Here they came. Casey Weldon to Charlie Ward. Back to Weldon, who has a convoy to take him 35 yards downfield all the way to the Michigan 10-yard line. Seminoles then lined up for a field goal, but watch it. It seemed like it, but it's the field goal Rooski as William Floyd gets it and takes it in for the 13-7 lead. The PAT was missed. After a J.D. Carlson 47-yard field goal came the run of the day. Amp Lee going left, being patient, busting a tackle right there, creating his chances and then cutting back against the grain to take it in 42 yards. It was 19-10 Seminoles after only 1 quarter. Let's go to the second quarter. Buckley and Howard battling again. Desmond wins this one as well, but just barely. The coverage is great. Buckley jumps a split second early, and Howard makes the great catch, but FSU led 37-23 at the half. But it was the Seminoles defense, not Michigan's offense, that got stronger. Wolverines go into a little trickery, but Buckley is not fooled. His second INT of the day. And to top it all off in the fourth quarter, Todd McIntosh would do it. plucking it out of the air after Reggie Freeman is all over Elvis Gerbach and rumbling 50 yards for the score. Seminoles not only win, they dominate Michigan with a 51-31 blowout. After the game, the Tribe knew what they had done.
Yeah, we came up here. They said all you do is trick plays. We wanted to say, okay, there's a trick play, you know. And then we showed them how to play a little smash mouth. I think that's what they call it up here.
We took the wind out of their sails, you know, and it just proved that we were the kind of defense that can dig deep, and that was what it was going to take. We're dug deep, and this game was going to win it.
The offense did some great things. Defense scored 2 touchdowns. Like you say, stopped them 12. I'd say our defense was worth at least 28 points today, maybe 30.
Now, this reminder, the Seminoles are expected to land back in Tallahassee at about 8 o'clock this evening. Our stop.
This says, let's go. You're going to use any more timeouts? He's staring at his target. They've taken 4 foot 10 inches out of those goalposts to get it to where it is. On its way, the 44-yarder, no good. And there's a little scuffle. That's why Bobby Ross was running out in the field. So the Clemson Tigers will stay unbeaten.
CNN Headline Sports. College football top-ranked Florida State marched into Ann Arbor and whipped Michigan 51-31. Casey Weldon tossed 3 touchdowns, and Terrell Buckley picked off this Elvis Gerbach pass and went 40 yards for the score. The 51 points is the most points given up by the Wolverines in 33 years. A nail-biter at Death Valley. Clemson scored the go-ahead touchdown with under 2 minutes to go, but the Tigers missed the extra point. Georgia Tech came back and had a shot to win it, but Scott Sisson's 45-yard field goal sailed wide with seconds left. Clemson holds on for the 9-7 win over the Yellow Jackets. Rick Myra tossed 2 touchdowns, leading Notre Dame to a 45-20 win over Purdue. The Irish improved to 2-1. Penn State held off Boston College 28-21 at State College thanks to 5 Eagle interceptions. Tony Saka threw for 1 score, ran for another for the Nittany Lions. Number 15 Florida bounced back from last week's loss to Syracuse, pounding Jackie Sherrill's Mississippi State club 29-7. Shane Matthews 322 yards and 2 TD passes. Stanford shocked number 17 Colorado 28-21 in Palo Alto. Tommy Vardell 3 touchdowns. It's the first win of the year for the Cardinal. And the Battle of Carolina goes to NC State 24-7 over the Tar Heels. Backup quarterback Jeff Bender tossed 2 touchdowns, filling in for the injured Terry Jordan, who broke his wrist during the game. Sebastian Savage had a 99-yard interception return for a TD as time ran out. On the scoreboard, the Hurricanes blew past the Golden Hurricane in Tulsa. Washington
Potentially the game of the year. He also said the loser of today's Florida State-Michigan game would still have a shot at the whole enchilada, but that it would be tough sledding. You can also tell he was pumped up for this one and ready to even his personal record against the Wolverines before a crowd well over 100,000. And the defense would help jumpstart the Seminoles. Second play from scrimmage, Elvis Gerbach never saw Terrell Buckley threw in the direction of Desmond Howard. Buckley made him pay the 40-yard return for the touchdown. Round 1 of that matchup goes to Buckley, but round 2 against Howard would go to the little Wolverine. He turns Buckley in, cuts it outside, and Gerbach is on the money this time. We're tied at 7. Then came the gadget plays. Bowden hadn't needed a call in his previous 2 games. Casey Weldon to Charlie Ward. Look out, it's coming back, and Weldon's got a convoy down the sideline. 35 yards all the way down to the Michigan 10-yard line. Wolverines got tough, though, and FSU set up for a field goal. Make that the field goal Ruski. The pitch goes to William Floyd, who burrows in from the 4-yard line. Leon graduate J.D. Carlson knocked through a 47-yarder for the Wolverines, but the Seminoles were cooking. Next, they went to the ground, where Ampley put on an absolute clinic on this run alone. The cutback, and 42 yards later, he's in the end zone. It's 19-10, Florida State after one. Second quarter, here come Buckley and Howard again. In the end zone again, Buckley's got perfect position, but he jumps a split second early, and Howard makes the spectacular catch. Still, FSU led 37-23 at the half. And the second half, the Seminole defenses took the Wolverines out of it. Michigan went to the trickery. Buckley was not fooled. The halfback pass is easy pickings. The second end zone interception for the Seminoles. Meanwhile, they just kept scoring to roll up an incredible 20-point win. Our Scott Atwell was there for their return to Tallahassee with no doubt about who's number one now.
Back in Ann Arbor, Michigan, they had silenced the crowd. But when the Seminoles returned home, they found out that cheering was still going on, even at 8:16 in the evening.
It's great. This is the first time we had that I experienced something like this. To have that many fans come to the airport, it shows there's a lot of support with it.
The highest-ranked matchup in FSU history was decidedly Seminole. Well, how does it rank in the Bowden book?
We've never been in a bigger game, but we won it. There's been some teams that were better than that, but it was a big one.
This welcome home would have been decidedly different had it not been for the Seminole defense. Their second half included a pair of fourth down stands and a very big touchdown. Final minutes of the game, Michigan had pulled within 13 points, but that's when Todrick McIntosh played hero.
We were on a blitz, and as I was going in, I saw the quarterback about to roll out, and I was going with him. And just at that exact moment, Reggie Freeman hit the quarterback. I saw the ball, and from there, it's history.
When's the last time you had to run that far in a football game?
I think it was junior high when I played tailback. We played far past our expectations. We showed everybody that we do have a pretty tight defense.
Away from the celebration, in the quiet of the FSU parking lot, equipment man Frank DeBoard revealed a permanent reminder of the day Florida State stared down the winningest program in America, and the other guys blinked. Scott Atwell, Channel 6 Eyewitness Sports, Tallahassee.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, the #1 ranking is just a little bit stronger than
Yeah,
last
they
week.
are just that close to being a unanimous #1. It's hard to believe indeed, but there are still 3 sports writers on the voting panel who don't think the Seminoles are #1, but the Tribe got all the rest of the first-place votes, which means they have picked up 6 of Miami's and 2 of Washington's from last week's poll. The Seminoles solidly at the top of the heap, with the Canes still #2.
After heat of the night.
September 28, 1991, the #1 ranked Florida State Seminoles are ready to lay it all on the line against the #3 ranked Michigan Wolverines. In what may be the most important game of his 16 years as head man for the Tribe, Bobby Bowden takes his King of the Road title into unfamiliar territory. Michigan Stadium, the big house, where 106,000 fans and an ABC audience await this gigantic intersectional clash. There have been no cutbacks in the FSU offensive arsenal. The veteran Seminole offensive line looks to protect the nation's #1 rated quarterback, Casey Weldon. Amp Lee, Edgar Bennett and company plan to blast open the #1 defense in the land. Defensively, can the Seminoles go toe-to-toe with the big beef boys of Michigan in the trenches? Will Terrell Buckley and the Sky Patrol put a clamp on Heisman candidate Desmond Howard and force Elvis to sing some blues? The big one's finally here. FSU at Michigan. It just may be the game of the year, and we'll fill you in with all the highlights and interviews next on Seminole Uprising. Uprising. Crowd of 106,000 plus and a national television audience focus intently as third-ranked Michigan prepares to take on top-ranked Florida State in the long-awaited duel in sunny Ann Arbor, Michigan. On the second play from scrimmage, Terrell Buckley introduces himself to Michigan quarterback Elvis Gerback.
Well, it's basically a 3-step read. We face that every day in practice with Casey and all wide out. And I just broke up on the ball.
The Wolverines drive with Ricky Powers doing the damage. Then Magic Man Desmond Howard gets in on the action. On the Tribe's first possession, Bobby Bowden reaches deep into his bag of tricks as Casey Weldon plays catch with Charlie Ward.
Weldon to the 30-yard line. Weldon to the 20-yard line. Weldon to the 15. Weldon to the 11. Fumbles the football, diving on at FSU, and the Seminoles have the football. Razzle-dazzle in Ann Arbor.
First of all, we got to give credit to Coach Spurrier over there. They tried to run it last year against us, and it would have worked if they'd have made the throw. But Charlie made a nice throw, and he did a great job of acting over there to set it all up and let me get down the sideline with my blazing speed.
The drive stalls, and in comes Dan Mowry for what appears to be a short field goal attempt.
Good snap. Here's the pitch goes to the fullback, and the Seminoles have a touchdown. On a play. Brad Johnson laterals it forward, and the Seminoles score a touchdown. That was an incredible catch by William Floyd, a 4-yard touchdown, and it's 13-7.
Lady Luck visits the Michigan side moments later as Tallahassee product J.D. Carlson boots a 47-yard field goal that hits the crossbar and sneaks over to cut the Florida State lead to 3. Look out, Wolverines. Here comes Amp Lee.
Goes the ball off. He has it to Lee. Lee to the 40. To the 45 to the 50. Lee to the 45 of Michigan, and he's run out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Will hand the ball off. This is Lee, left side to the 40. Lee to the 30. 5 to the 30. Lee busts the tackle to the 25. Lee spins back to the 20. Lee with a block to the 15 to the 10. Amp Lee, touchdown, Florida State.
We had heard about how good the offensive line, how good their defense was. So the offensive line took it upon themselves, to go out and show it to them, to prove it. That, they said we were a finesse team, and we proved that we aren't. We can, grind the ball if we have to. So, I'm not surprised that we were able to run the ball like that.
On the opening play of the second quarter, Todrick McIntosh wakes up the Seminole defense, killing the Michigan drive with a crushing sack up the middle.
We were just in basic nickel defense, and I used the over-inside move on the guy right next to Skripnik or whatever his name was, and it was there, and I sacked the quarterback.
Enter All-America Terrell Buckley once again, who fields the ball at the 31 and craftily jaunts 30 yards to set up superb field position. Don't blink. 3 plays later on 3rd and 7, Weldon finds a wide-open Warren Hart down the middle for a 20-yard TD pass and a 25-10 lead. Bowden decides to go for 2, but a Weldon to Bennett pass is swatted away at the goal line. When it looks like the Noles are cruising, Elvis Gerback airs it out 42 yards to a diving Desmond Howard, who comes up with a phenomenal catch over Terrell Buckley, pulling Michigan to within 9. J.D. Carlson adds the extra point to cut the Tribe's lead to 25-17. With the ball back in the hands of Casey Weldon, the Wolverine defense rises to the occasion Weldon is picked off by linebacker Steve Morrison, who returns the ball inside the Seminole 20. Taking advantage of the turnover, Gerbach finds fullback Bernie Leggett with a 7-yard TD pass, cutting the Seminoles' lead to just 2. On the 2-point conversion attempt, the Florida State defense gets tough as Desmond Howard is stopped short of the goal line by a diving Leon Fowler. Back on offense, Casey Weldon fires up the Seminole offense.
Throws it downfield toward Lee, makes the catch at the 40. Lee to the 35, cuts it back to the 25. Amp Lee to the 15, to the 10. Amp Lee is brought down at the 5-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by Dwayne Ware.
Well, you know, most times it's one-on-one, and you know, I think myself, along with our other, with Edgar and all the running backs, we feel if we have someone one-on-one, then you know, we're going to get by him. So it wasn't so much a poor job of tackling on that part.
Toss sweep comes to Lee. Lee comes left side, waits for a block, makes the cut to the 5. Touchdown, Florida State. He is an amazing runner. Unbelievable.
After another PAT disaster, the Seminole lead is at 8. On the ensuing kickoff, the fast-paced game doesn't lose a step as it's Howard once again with a 48-yard kickoff return. Tack on a late hit penalty on FSU, and the Wolverines start on prime FSU real estate. Behind their huge offensive line, Michigan pushes the ball inside the Florida State 5. The Tribe defense takes control.
My thoughts on the way our defense plays was phenomenal. I think we proved ourselves. You know, people say that we were a finesse team and not a very physical team. And we emphasized to show them that we do play smash mouth football. We went up there and we took it straight to them. And then we threw a couple of stunts in at them and caught them off balance, and we dominated the game.
The action-packed first half comes to a close with the Seminoles up 31-23.
Head coach Larry Jones' Florida State Seminoles are ready to tackle a year that promises to be an exciting one. With a team laden with talent such as quarterback Gary Huff, the Magic Dragon, wide receiver Barry Smith, and cornerback J.T. Thomas, the 1971 Noles went 8-4 with a heartbreaking loss to Arizona State in the inaugural Fiesta Bowl. Friday, September 13th, marked the 20th anniversary and the first reunion at Doak Campbell Stadium for most of the former players. Even former head coach Bill Peterson found his way back to the men that he once recruited.
It was a great football team, and I think they could compete today if it was in the same situation where they were young. I think they could compete with anybody.
With a few words from head coach Larry Jones, the reunion turned into sweet memories.
Do any of you still wear your Fiesta Bowl watch? I wear mine, and I've lost it. It was returned in the mail after several years. It still runs fast, just like those Arizona State backs.
Gary Huff passing for an even 300 yards in this game, teaming up with Barry Smith for an 88-yard touchdown pass.
Well, we played a wide-open offense year in, year out. We finished in the top 3 offensively, and especially from a passing attack. Gary Huff usually was 1 or 2 in the nation.
The 71 team started the season with a 5-0 record and an impressive defeat of the Miami Hurricanes in the Orange Bowl. This was also a team that saw 9 of its players go on to play in the pros, the most from any Seminole team until the mid-'80s. 71 also included the first black player to start on a regular basis.
Being, I guess, the first black, at the time, I didn't think about it as much. I look back, I guess it was a pioneering experience, but it's something that helped me, I guess,
through life and probably still carrying on today, really.
Some of them have changed a little bit, and some of them still look the same. But it was a great bunch of guys. We had a great team and an awful lot of fun, a lot of closeness, and just great to see them.
1971 was a year to remember in Seminole football history. I'm Michael J. Howard reporting for Seminole Uprising.
Starting from the 26, the FSU offense plays some smash mouth of its own.
Again, Weldon hands it off to Bennett. Bennett pops free to the right side. Bennett with the ball to the 40. Bennett to the 42-yard line. And Weldon toss sweep to Lee, left side. Goes to the left side. Gets a block out there. Finds a block. He's to the 50, to the 45. He's to the 40-yard line, to the Michigan 38-yard line. Hands it off the inside. Handoff to Bennett. Makes the tackle to the 30. Bennett to the 25-yard line, and swarming Wolverines bring him down. He'll throw for the first time of this half. Throws the ball over, caught by Terrell. Terrell makes a sidestep move. Terrell to the 15. He's to the 12-yard line.
On 3rd and goal from the Michigan 9, Weldon looks to E.T. for 6.
Cox puts the ball in the air. It is going to be incomplete.
Here is.
Eric Terrell was in the end zone waiting for that floater to get there. Weldon is a happy man because he dodges a bullet. He was under a lot of pressure, just sort of floated it in and said, "Number 7, you outlead the kid, and it's yours for a touchdown."
1st and goal from the Wolverine 2. Something happens that's about as frequent as snow in Tallahassee. Edgar Bennett coughs it up. With the huge crowd urging them on, the Wolverines try to run it out of the hole. But the Seminole D says,
Well, we had to establish the line of scrimmage. We had to establish the line control. And our defensive line, it was a big burden on the defensive lineman to just establish the line control. But once they did that, we just played regular football.
Starting from the Michigan 34, it's Ampli Wright. Then Ampli left. On 2nd and 9 from the 20, Weldon and Terrell hitch up on a masterpiece.
I just, I saw the coverage and just wanted to give him a chance, and man, he made one heck of a catch.
William Floyd's superhuman effort almost makes the conversion attempt work. After the teams trade possessions, Michigan shows some flash of its own. But Terrell Buckley stays at home to make his 2nd interception of the game and 12th of his sparkling career.
I lost it for a minute because I normally do not just catch the ball and go out of bounds. I like to run with it, so, my eyes are kind of blurry now. Actually not in turning around and can't, come out.
The Michigan defense shows why it was rated toughest in the country coming into the game. On 1st down, Ricky Powers rips through the right side for 17. But the Tribe D would hold the nation's 3rd leading rusher to 97 yards rushing on 29 carries. Trailing by 14 with more than 14 minutes on the clock, Coach Moeller decides to go for it on 4th and 6. The two big defenses battle it out.
Defense line played great football. They proved themselves to the country.
Starting deep in their own territory, the Seminoles mount a back-breaking drive.
Play fake Weldon. He wants to go upstairs. Looks downfield, still buys time, throws it to his wide open receiver, Warren Hart, to the 40 of Michigan, to the 35. Warren Hart to the 29-yard line. Some of the guys said Weldon hands the ball off to Lee. Lee makes the cut inside. Lee to the 25. Lee is going to be hit and dropped as he got it to the 20.
4th and 7 from the Wolverine 15.
Dumps the ball off. It is caught by Lee. Lee looks for a block, sidesteps somebody. He gets it too near the 8-yard line, but a penalty flag has been thrown. It looks like Casey Weldon may have been roughed.
Well, I had said kick the field goal, but Coach Bowden said just make the play work, and it was a great call. Lonnie was wide open, and Bowden missed him, but Lonnie made a great catch.
Punter turned kicker John Wimberly puts the Seminoles up by 21. Starting on Tribe turf, Elvis goes airborne. Minutes still on the clock. The Wolverines' onside kick recovery stops FSU hearts everywhere. The big bad Seminole D says enough is enough. On 4th and 14 from the FSU 36, the Noles put this one in the sod cemetery.
With the football, Todrick McIntosh to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, to the 10-yard line. McIntosh, touchdown, Florida State. That's going to break the back of the Wolverines.
Man, that was awesome. Well, we were out on the nickel package, and I beat my block, and I saw the quarterback. He was getting ready to pass, so like I do always, I went after the ball with my hand as I hit him, and the ball went straight up, and next thing I know, as I looked up, I see big boy 94, Todd McIntosh running down the field, and everybody behind him, you know.
And that's when Reggie Freeman hit him, and his arm was in motion. I saw the ball, and all I was thinking from that point on was touchdown, because I said if I ever got an opportunity like that, I'd score.
Florida State takes a chunk of turf back to Tribetown, dismantling the Big Ten Wolverines 51-31. The 51 points are the most ever scored against Michigan in Ann Arbor. Time will tell if Bobby Bowden's 209th career victory will become the biggest in FSU history. Personally outmaneuvered, overpowered, or just outran the entire Michigan secondary. The junior from Chipley also caught 3 passes for 79 yards and was the biggest reason why FSU scored more points in Michigan than any team ever has. On defense, the entire defense gets the award. The FSU defense showed that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And the Michigan offensive line, which averages nearly 300 pounds, came down with a crash. The Wolverines ran for only 117 yards, barely 1/2 of their season average. In the secondary, Terrell Buckley was ready, willing, and able to meet the challenge of defending Michigan Heisman hopeful Desmond Howard. The rest of the swarming Seminole defense bewildered Michigan quarterback Elvis Gerback by intercepting him 4 times and sacking him 3 times. Kirk Carruthers, Marvin Jones, and Errol McCorvey combined for 28 tackles. Everywhere the Wolverines looked, there was a man dressed in garnet and gold, ready to eat them up. Once again, Seminole Uprising congratulates the Players of the Week. On offense, Amp Lee, and the entire Seminole D.
Is brought to you today by Barnett Bank. Here's to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and returns home with a 51-31 victory. Good evening or afternoon or morning, and welcome to the Bobby Bowden Show. And Coach Bowden, congratulations. Tremendous Florida State win.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest settings for a football game I believe I've ever attended. I think all the Seminoles that was there, including our marching chiefs, including our cheerleaders, and the fans we had there, I think they had a great time. It was a beautiful day for a football game.
Florida State goes to Ann Arbor. They were favored, the #1 team against the #3 team in the land. National television, all the eyes on Ann Arbor, Michigan Stadium, and we've got some highlights to be talking. Defense coach in that first quarter, I never thought the first quarter was going to get over. Big plays, trick offense, and some spectacular defense as well.
Yeah, I thought we were playing Brigham Young with that first quarter. It went forever. And but our defense did play great ball game. We had to learn on that first drive because they took their first drive. But we're going to stop them first. We're going to have a great interception by Bucky. Yeah. Mickey Andrews did a great job of preparing our defense for this ball game. Now there's Terrell Buckley intercepting the first pass they throw and running for a touchdown and set the tone. No, Terrell was really up for this ball game. He was up. I've never seen him as up for a game. He wanted the ball. He wanted punt returns. He wanted, I should have put him in on kickoff returns. He wanted that. He wanted to get where he could get that ball. I mean, he's taking those punts and trying to run those things back. And but anyway, that was a great job there. And Dan Mowry comes in and kicks the extra point, and we get a 7-0 lead. Now we got to kick off with them again, and they put a great drive here together. And there's Powers, their tailback, but there's old Reggie Freeman. No, he played. Our defense, I just couldn't say enough about. I wish I could call every one of them's names. Reggie Freeman played well. Dinkins had one of his best ball games. Now, here's a touchdown that we thought hit the ground, Gene. That was not a touchdown, but
Desmond Howard, though, he makes the spectacular.
Desmond makes it. He was a great back receiver. There's no doubt about it.
Now it's 7-7, Coach.
Now you got a 7-7. So old Casey liked to run himself to death. Now watch. We started rolling out in the ball game. He liked to die. He came and he says, "Coach, please quit rolling out." Look at him. We roll right. We roll left. And he's about to die. Then he's got to run 29 yards on this pass here. Watch.
Now, how about this play, Coach?
Yeah, this one we got from Steve Spurrier. Steve gave me this one. He did. I told last time I said, "Steve, I put your play in." He just kind of laughed.
7 guys blocking on the screen.
Yeah, great job, Casey. Well, we put Charlie Ward in there. There's old Reggie Dixon saving it. Reggie Dixon from Jacksonville. Now here's old Edgar Bennett running the football and doing a real good job. Edgar did a real good job. Edgar had 2 third-down catches that kept drives alive. Now we fake a field goal here, and William Floyd from St. Pete. Watch William on the left, number 44. I think that's old Warren Hart blocking, leading the block in there. And old William, look at old William. He's an exciting football player. He's
Lakewood High
so
School.
exciting. Mike Marsh, number 60, is back. See? Mike came back and played nearly the whole ball game.
Well, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. And who we got in there?
So Henry Ostaszewski.
That was Henry. Oh, yeah. I saw Henry's mom and daddy there at the ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, I hate to see those 2 boys leave. Boynton Beach, Florida, they reminded me. Said, "Bobby, quit telling people West Palm Beach. It's Boynton Beach."
Santa Lucia's High School.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
How about J.D. Carlson from Tallahassee? Did he have the luck of the Wolverines?
He hit a 50-yard field goal. He hit the goalpost and bounced over. Now watch Amp Lee here. Make him miss, Amp. Make him miss. And he was kind of lazy there. He kind of stepped out of bounds and arrested.
122 yards on the day.
He got
Coach.
120 yards. Amp had a great day. Amp had more numbers. Edgar Bennett had some key plays. But here's Amp on the run, which was the play of the day right here. Watch him. See, makes people miss him. It's effortlessly. Picks up a nice block there, I think, from Eric Terrell. Eric played real well from Tallahassee. Look at Amp. Look at Amp.
1, 2, 3 missed tackles.
Well, you need to want to go to sleep while he runs the ball. He's so smooth, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
You just feel like just go to sleep. There's old Terrell down there blocking. But we had that kind of effort. You can see our band, the marching chiefs, not all of them went, boy, but I guarantee they did a great job. I knew he was going to win when I saw them.
29 points in the first quarter.
That's old Todd McIntosh, isn't it?
Yeah. Born in Tallahassee.
Yeah, and old Big Dan Footman, also from down around St. Pete. And now this is how bad Terrell wanted to win. Watch him. Watch him. Look at him. Picks that ball. Look at him. Boy, he's quick. Oh, he's quick. We had much more speed than they did, and quickness than they did. If it hadn't been, they wouldn't have had a chance. Because they were about as good as we thought. I mean, they were pretty darn good.
Converting on 3rd down.
Yeah. Now here's Warren Hart from Jacksonville, Florida, making a catch. That's his 4th touchdown catch of the year. I mean, tight end catch 4 touchdown passes in 4 games.
He's only caught 5 passes at this point, and 4 of them.
5 of them, and 4 of them for touchdowns. 260 pounds of pure fat. I mean, muscle. Excuse me, Warren.
Great job, Warren.
I'm going to crack that for your mama over there.
They're watching the Jacksonville now, Coach.
Oh, there's some good hitting there. Oh, look at that number 10 hitting that. That's old Derek Brooks, little old freshman.
Leon
from
Fowler, too.
Pensacola, Florida. Leon Fowler, number 3, hit one of the best shots of the day. Here's a great play here. Great play to their Desmond Howard. Now, old Buck had it timed right. I mean, had it covered. He just didn't time his jump right.
And so look at it. They keep fighting. They keep coming back, 25-17. But I think we throw an interception here. This was a bad play call on my part. I mean, that play didn't have a chance. Casey might as well have taken the ball, thrown it up in the stands, got it over with. But that was an outstanding linebacker for them. I see old Robert Stevenson down there making the tackle. Look at, who is that number? Shade Tree. Big Shade Tree, Marvin Jones. I know his brother Fred's mighty proud of him. Old Carruthers, I think, led us in tackle. I knew he was fired up because he was playing in Michigan. But see, here's where I thought they were blocking on a forward pass. They were blocking downfield when a guy caught the pass. Now they try for two. And they try for two. Here comes Desmond Howard. Oh, magic. And then there's old Leon Fowler again. I saw his mom and daddy up there, Walter Grace, and them at the ball game. Big Carl Simpson. Carl Simpson was in on that. Carl played well. Yes, he did. Carl played well. Casey Weldon had a great day. Oh, look at Bennett. See, that was a 3rd and 5 right there, and Bennett made about 7. Bennett made 2 key catches in that game that kept drives going. And Casey makes a beautiful later. But here comes Ampley again, breaks loose on man coach, makes the guy miss, and then with his blazing speed gets caught from behind again. I'm on. At the 5-yard line. So watch him. He comes back. Yeah, watch his move there. Yeah. See this? Watch, I'm going to show you this again. Now watch this guy here. This guy is unblocked, number 22, and he's he's their best defensive back. Now watch what Amp does to him. Whoops. It's just really, he's unbelievable how he's got the ability to do that. But Robbie Baker played great on that. Mancini, I thought, had his best game. I thought Mancini outplayed their great All-American tackle. And Dinkins, Howard Dinkins, intercepted that pass, and they would have got right back in the ball game, and that was right before the half. Dinkins makes that play, and I know his mom was proud of him over in Jacksonville, Florida, too. But boy, that was a big play. 8-point Seminole lead at halftime. A lot of fireworks yet to come in the second half. In between now and then, Burt Reynolds and Vic Frenzy have a great moment in Florida State football with former Seminole greats Burt Reynolds and Vic Frenzy.
You know, Burton, Florida State has had the privilege to inaugurate 4 bowls in its short career in college football.
We started one, the Bluegrass Bowl.
Bluegrass Bowl. Then they went on and inaugurated the Peach Bowl. And then, of course, the Fiesta Bowl.
Right.
Out in Arizona.
And I think they got one now. Well, the Fiesta Bowl's pretty hot, but this one could be the hottest.
Hot one is absolutely correct when they go down and they start out in the Blockbuster Bowl. And they take on Penn State. And what a thrill it had to be for the people across the United States to have Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno.
Well, the two legends today still coaching, living legends coaching. 2 winningest teams, winning the records of 2 coaches. And also, I think Bobby, I know Bobby had tremendous respect for Joe and vice versa. And Bobby had never won a game against Paterno.
You're absolutely correct, because while he was the head coach at West Virginia, he never had an opportunity to beat Joe Paterno.
You know, the 2 things that stand out in my mind in that game were that the veterans came through that game. But when we started to slip a little bit, the 2 guys who really showed what they had.
Absolutely. Of course, the game starts off. Florida State gets on the boards first. Ampley taking a 2-yard touchdown pass. Came back a little later on at halftime. Lee goes 7 yards for a touchdown to make it 17-7.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Lee had a great game, but for me, Bennett was tremendous in the game.
No doubt about it.
And the receiver.
Lawrence Dawsey, every clutch play. As a matter of fact, Dawsey and Bennett probably set up every one of their touchdowns. And you consider the fact, I think there was a screen pass that Bennett set up a score, and then Dawsey made some crucial catches.
I think Paterno said Dawsey was the one that hurt him most.
Oh, he was. And, of course, the scoring was wound up on a beautifully run bootleg by Casey Welling, which became the winning touchdown. But, Bert, you know, going in the latter part of that game, Penn State and Joe Paterno weren't going to roll over and die.
No. FSU 24, Penn State 17, it was a real blockbuster.
Join us next week. I know where Bert is. Let's look over here. We're getting closer. Let's wait him out and have some real food. Beef. Real food for real Seminoles.
They played Michigan in Ann Arbor. Coach, 106,000 plus. And not only there in Ann Arbor, but Seminole fans, about 10,000 there, 2,000 greeted the team at the airport. When we came home, we had the best crowd out there waiting on us, the most enthusiastic Florida State crowd I've seen since the Nebraska game in the 80s and the Notre Dame and Ohio State wins. You know what? The crowd really got back, and it was exciting to see that crowd there. Now, here's old Buck again returning a punt for Florida State. And there's old Amp going to pick up about Mike Morris leading the way. Number 6, watch Mike knock this man out on his back. Mike Morris, Miami, Florida. There's old Robert Stevenson there from Pensacola, Florida. Watch this catch by Eric Terrell. Great catch, Eric. Eric's beginning to come into his own, working harder. 85 there, old Lonnie Johnson from Miami, Florida, who played another good game and caught himself another touchdown. But look at him lay out on it. Number 7 there, Eric Terrell. From Tallahassee, Godby High School. Yeah, John Easton is doing a great job. He does the best job with receivers I've ever seen in my life.
Coach,
I've never seen a man get more out of people.
Seminoles are back up 14 points now.
Yeah, 14 up. There's Kurt Carruthers and Dan Footman making the tackle. Look at the gang tackle. Look at the speed of these boys. There's Casey Weldon over the ball. Casey played a great game. This is the best. Watch this play here. Watch him. Watch his poise. This is 3rd down, about 12, 13, man. That's Edgar Bennett. There's Edgar Bennett's other play. There's Edgar Bennett kept 2 drives going Saturday with 2 big catches on 3rd down, and very instrumental in our winning the ball game. Now here's Casey again. He caught Warren Hart out in flat. Now there's a good case of Casey scanning the field. Now here's a touchdown to Lonnie Johnson. So Casey threw 3 touchdown passes. Lonnie caught 1. The other tight end caught 1. And Eric Terrell caught 1. William Floyd caught 1. Go ahead.
That was on 4th and 2. You needed 2 yards, and you decided to go for all of it. 6.
Yeah.
You wanted 6
we
points.
wasn't kicking well. Yeah, we wasn't kicking well. Yeah. and that happened. Dan Meyer had a rough time kicking, but that happens. I don't want him worrying about it. I know he's going to worry about it anyway.
How about a little pick play there?
Yeah.
They crisscrossed and knocked 2 guys down, and boom, touchdown.
Richard Coles played well from Miami, Florida. Then run the quarterback draw. We were loose at times, but our defense, I can't give Mickey Andrews and our defensive staff enough credit. Our kicking was terrible, though. They had field position all day long on our kicking.
Onside.
Oh, but watch that play. Look at that was Dinkins. Dinkins knocking the ball loose there, and this is where Dinkins knocks it loose. And Todd McIntosh from Dallas, Texas. I saw his daddy at the ball game. Todd McIntosh runs for a touchdown. Watch this. Looks like, I want you to watch this. Does this look like 2 hogs running down the field?
Freeman makes the hit.
Yeah, Dinkins makes the hit. That's Dinkins. Or is that Freeman?
Reggie Freeman.
Oh, Reggie Freeman. I said Dinkins.
Dinkins made the hit before that.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you straightened me out.
There's McIntosh lumbering down.
Yeah, and I wanted to I thought this was going to show McIntosh running again. So we felt very happy to win the football. Had great coverage there by the press and the media.
51-31, the Seminoles win big in Ann Arbor. Coach, the biggest whipping of a Michigan team at home ever, we are told.
I know it. You know what we got to do about that? We got to forget it and get on Syracuse.
That's the win is big, but you got
it was a big one, yeah. But yeah, the key now is forget about that and get on Syracuse.
We'll have a closing comment coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
The Bobby Bowden Show will continue in just 1 minute. Don't go away.
Fort Lauderdale, start your engines and capture the rich tradition and history of the greatest spectacle in tunnable racing as the International Outboard Grand Prix presents the 1991 Bell South Mobility Race for the Championship. October 5th and 6th at the Bahia Mar Hotel. Come early and stay late as